Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to introduce you to a fascinating topic. If a woman wants to sleep with you, she'll say this first. In this session, we'll explore one of the most misunderstood yet vital aspects of dating and attraction. Jessica Oppair will guide us through how women communicate their interest without being direct. We'll learn how to recognize subtle verbal cues and emotional signals that indicate deeper attraction. By the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of authentic communication and how to decode genuine interest. So, let's dive in. When two people meet and attraction sparks, there's a natural instinct that kicks in, the desire to please. On first dates, both men and women often find themselves bending their personalities a bit to create a sense of compatibility. For example, if she says she loves dancing, he might suddenly claim he enjoys it too, even if it's been years since he's stepped on a dance floor. Similarly, if he admits he finds museums boring, she might hide her genuine love of art galleries to avoid seeming different. This tendency isn't driven by malice or deceit. It's really about a deep longing to be liked and accepted. Understanding this helps us see why people often hide their true selves early on. Because at that stage, we all want to make a good impression and be accepted for who we are. Let's talk about the illusion of compatibility. Sometimes, when we're trying to make a relationship work, we put on a kind of play acting. We might pretend to be someone we're not just to fit in or to be accepted. But here's the catch. This creates a dangerous illusion. It makes us believe we're truly compatible, when in reality, the relationship is based on performance rather than honesty. Over time, this disconnect can lead to disappointment and frustration, and eventually, the relationship might break down altogether. Now, you'll notice that both men and women often bend their personalities to seem more agreeable or compatible. They might hide certain traits or pretend to enjoy things they don't really care about, all to keep the peace or to fit what they think their partner wants. And this leads to creating a facade, a kind of mask that covers up the real person underneath. Relationships then become more about maintaining this performance rather than forming a genuine connection based on shared interests and authentic understanding. The problem with all of this is that, sooner or later, the pretense wears thin. The initial illusion of compatibility fades, and what's left can be frustration and disappointment. This often results in the breakdown of the relationship because it was never truly built on a solid, honest foundation. The cost of pretending to be simple can be quite deceptive. You see, the irony here is really striking. In our effort to appear agreeable and easy to get along with, we often end up creating complicated futures for ourselves. It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? We think we're making things simpler, but what we're really doing is building a foundation for misunderstandings down the line. Couples, for example, might discover, sometimes too late, that they were never truly compatible in the first place. And one of the biggest issues, unspoken desires. These are the things about lifestyle, hobbies, or even sexual intimacy that we don't voice. Instead, they simmer beneath the surface. Over time, those unspoken feelings turn into silent resentments. So, what does this mean in the bigger picture? It highlights how pretending to be simple or easy can actually lead us into more complex and painful situations. Being honest and open about what we really want and need is essential. Otherwise, we're just delaying the inevitable, and the cost of that can be quite high. Let's talk about the concept of the silent resentments. Often, these issues start with a well-meaning but misguided effort to appear simple and likable. People try to keep things easy on the surface, but underneath, there can be a lot of unspoken tension. Some individuals end up living a life of compromise, giving up things they truly enjoy, like visiting museums or engaging in meaningful conversations, simply to keep the peace. They settle for less than they deserve, which can create a sense of dissatisfaction over time. Others might lead what we call double lives. They secretly pursue passions or even have affairs, things they can't openly admit, trying to fill the void created by pretending to be someone they're not. And then there are unspoken desires, those wants and needs that never get voiced. Over time, these unexpressed feelings fester, leading to silent resentments. These resentments slowly eat away at the relationship, often without either partner realizing how much damage is being done. This slide highlights how these underlying issues, these silent resentments, are often rooted in initial attempts at simplicity or avoiding conflict. But in reality, they sow the seeds for ongoing emotional strain that can threaten the very foundation of the relationship. Let's talk about the honest path to attraction. Jessica's message here is truly liberating. The most powerful way to attract someone is through honesty. When we're genuine and open about who we are, it creates a real connection. Instead of hiding our quirks and desires, we should feel confident enough to reveal them early on. Now, I want to clarify, this doesn't mean we should be brazen or demanding. It's about daring to show our complexity, our true selves, in a way that invites understanding and trust. Ultimately, authenticity is what makes us most attractive, and this aligns perfectly with the overall idea that genuine connections are built on honesty. Authenticity actually fast-forwards the whole process of finding the right match. Instead of spending months or even years stuck in a relationship that's just not right for us, being honest from the start helps us filter out those incompatible partners quickly. When we reveal who we truly are, our quirks, our desires, we save ourselves a lot of time and heartache. It's about showing up authentically so that the right people can see and connect with the real us. By being honest early on, we can identify when someone isn't a good fit almost immediately. This quick filtering process means we're not wasting precious time on mismatched relationships. And here's an important point. Rejection isn't necessarily a bad thing. If someone chooses to walk away because things aren't aligning, that's actually a gift. It's a shortcut, helping us get closer to finding that true alignment and connection we're really looking for. Ultimately, this approach saves us time and emotional energy, and it helps us build more genuine, lasting relationships. It's all about being authentic from the start, which really speeds up the path to the right match. When a woman is interested in sleeping with you, she usually doesn't say it outright. Instead, she tends to communicate her interest through more subtle, coded signals. One common way is through emotional openness. She might share personal stories or vulnerabilities, which shows she's testing how emotionally available you are and how comfortable she makes her feel. Another signal is playful honesty. She might tease you, hint at her quirks, or admit desires in a light-hearted, playful way. It's her way of seeing how you respond to her honesty and whether she's creating a fun, relaxed connection. Then there's subtle testing. She may say things like, "I'm not that simple, you know," which invites you to explore her more deeply and see how attentive you are to her cues. And finally, increased proximity. She might suggest spending more time together in private settings, often framing it as just hanging out, which is a way of indicating her comfort and interest without being too direct. All these signals are part of how women communicate interest indirectly, especially when they're feeling out the situation and assessing your responsiveness. Understanding these cues helps you see her genuine signals of readiness for intimacy beyond just words. When we talk about a mature response, the key idea is embracing complexity. The simplest relationships aren't built on denial or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, they thrive on mutual acceptance of each other's complexities. To truly connect with someone, you need to allow them to be their full, authentic selves, imperfect, complicated, and real. Women aren't waiting for a man who agrees with everything they say. They're looking for someone strong enough to handle the truth, someone who can accept who they really are, not just the idealized version. And when a woman drops those subtle hints, or when she stops pretending to be easy, she's actually revealing her true self. It's not just about sexual interest, it's a test. She's checking if you're grounded enough to handle her authenticity. So embracing complexity isn't just a nice idea. It's essential for building genuine, meaningful connections. It's about being real, being strong enough to accept the truth, and creating relationships based on honesty and acceptance. So here we are at the conclusion, the true green light, signaling that the path to genuine intimacy is rooted in honesty. It's important to understand that a woman doesn't expect you to simply mirror her likes and dislikes. What she truly needs is for you to see her as a whole person, to recognize her humanity. Handling her complexity is key. When she shows her authentic, multidimensional self, that's her real signal, her willingness to be open and true. It's about accepting her as she is with all her imperfections. Recognizing her humanity means embracing her fully, not just the idealized version or what you think she should be. When you do this, intimacy can truly flourish. And remember, dare to be real. Attraction isn't about striving for perfection. It's about having the courage to be your authentic self, vulnerable, real, and genuine. That's what creates a connection that's meaningful and lasting.